Good evening, everybody. I'm Guido Zucca, and I'm from the Airforce, and I'm here to show you our last work, our last investigation, that talk about in-flight loss of a main navigator. Just a few words about my department. I work for chemistry department, and our job is failure analysis. So basically, it is answer the question why it's broken, but in terms we can say that we try to find the root cause of a failure in order to avoid residues. So, just a quick look to the agenda of the presentation, and so coming back to our focus, I try to give you the framework of the accident. What happened is that a military executive aircraft is military just because it's property of the Air Force, but is a normal executive aircraft. During a standard flight, experienced the loss of the landing gear. Fortunately, the flight was on the sea, so there weren't damage on property and person. But this is not enough to avoid to search indeed the reason of the failure. So this is the piece of metal, this is the lack of the piece, and those are the two elements of our investigation, the two hinges, the only two constraints between the door and the fuselage. So, carry on with the observation. We have two hinges, the forward one and the rear one. And what we have to do is to exclude what is not involved in the failure. And what is for sure not involved in the failure, in this case, is probably overload. Because I have a component that, that is in service since many years. So, it's very rare that part like that experiences an overload. So firstly, the forward hinge experience just overload, as we can see from this image. Same image is very clear. We can see the dimples that are clear signal of overload. What is not overload is on the rear hinge. And we in some way expect this because this is the hinge that is responsible for the movement of the door by this leverage. So what we can see is a fractal surface that is very far from overload morphology, except for the red part. We see a morphology that we can assume also low magnification as fatigue. And in high magnification, we can see the clear beach marks of fatigue. Usually, we start to observe the fractal surface from the middle because following the beach marks in direction opposite to the propagation, we can find the initiation point of the fatigue. And in this case, make this counter sense trick, we found that firstly, we have a change of path. So we have a change of fatigue propagation, a change of crack propagation. Then again, following the beach marks, we found the probable initiation point. Those are the two pit corrosion. Here you cannot see fatigue because the magnification is very low and some oxidation phenomena leave it possible to see fatigue. And we see clearly two corrosion pits with a deepness of 100 microns and a width of 300 microns. But so what we can say at the end of the observation is that crack originated probably from this side, propagate firstly from your left to your right with a path of 45 degrees more or less, and then act as a second initiation track for a second propagation that is a continuous change of path, but macroscopically we have a second propagation very symmetrically on the fractal surface. The next step was exclude the material involvement in the failure. So we have to investigate the material in order to confirm the compliance with design specification. So with the OCP we are able to confirm the alloy elements, and with the hardness test we confirm the thermal treatment, and metallographic analysis is useful to exclude microstructural abnormalities. But also we find corrosion. So what we can what we have to analyze is the protective layer. And analyzing the protective layer, we found the correct composition. This is a titanium dioxide, but we found making some metallographic sections near the fractal initiation some detachment of protective layer. And in this case, there is also a complete lack of protective layer. As last step of our analysis, we perform a finite element analysis. This is just to exclude a concurrence between a particular geometry with the initiation cause that probably at this moment are the pit of corrosion. So we perform an analysis with the constraint as similar as possible to the real constraint, to the real one, and with a statical load, that is the mean load calculated on the basis of fluidodynamical simulation performed by OEM. Okay, this is not useful for fatigue, but this is useful to have a map of stress that can give us the representation of stress as a piece. So what we find is that stress concentration point exists, but is far from the fractal initiation. The fractal initiation is here, and the concentration point, tension point is here. And also its value is very, very slight above the fat limit for aluminium, for this aluminium. And this is a simulation performed to safety factor of 1.5 to the normal load acting on the piece. And also we have on the fractal initiation region stress that is also under the fat limit, but also we have a very slight gradient of stress. So we know that fatigue is a question of gradient of stress, and in this case we have no concurrence between the geometry, so the map of stress, and the fatigue propagation, the fatigue initiation. So what we can say in conclusion is that about to understand the failure root cause is that the magnetic door failed because the hinge failed, and the hinge failed because fatigue cracks propagate due to corrosion pit. And the lead role is assumed by an incorrect surface protection. And what we can say in order to prevent other similar cases is issue NDT. We recommend the current NDT because it will need the painting the part, and in order to prevent other similar accident. This is all for me, and thanks for your attention. I leave you to the break.